My husband's secret phone revealed more than I could bear. It all began on a rainy Thursday afternoon. The kind of day that forces you to sit with your thoughts, the kind of silence that makes old memories echo. My name is Grace, and I thought I knew everything about my husband, Daniel. We'd been married for 27 years. I believed that after so long, there were no more surprises between us. No more secrets, no more lies. But I was wrong. Terribly wrong. Daniel was the man everyone envied. Calm, soft-spoken, dependable. He worked hard, provided for us, and every Sunday morning, he'd kiss my forehead before heading to church. I used to think that was love, that gentle, unshaken consistency. But sometimes love hides behind habits, and habits can hide anything, even betrayal. It started with something small. Daniel began to take late-night walks. He'd say the fresh air helped him think. Sometimes he'd come back smelling faintly of cologne I didn't recognize. I told myself not to overthink it. Marriage is built on trust, I reminded myself. But when trust becomes one-sided, it's no longer trust, it's blindness. One evening, while cleaning, I noticed a strange phone charger tucked under his pillow. Daniel never slept with his phone nearby, or so I thought. When I asked, he smiled and said it was for work. I nodded, pretending to believe him. But that night, as he snored softly beside me, I couldn't sleep. Something in me whispered, "Find the truth before it finds you." The next morning, after he left for work, I began searching. It wasn't easy. Daniel was meticulous, organized, the kind of man who never left a paper out of place. But as I reached for one of his jackets in the closet, something hard pressed against my fingers. My heart thumped. I pulled it out. A phone. A small black phone with no case. Old, but clean, too clean. I stared at it for a long moment, feeling my heart beat in my ears. Then I turned it on. There were no social media apps, no photos on the home screen, nothing to suggest it belonged to a man like Daniel. Just a list of contacts, all with initials. Auntie, LS, and one contact named simply Love Red Heart. My fingers trembled as I opened the messages. The first thing I saw wasn't words, it was photos. Dozens of them. Smiling faces, dinners in dimly lit restaurants, hotel room mirrors. And in all of them, Daniel. My Daniel. Holding another woman. Laughing. Kissing. Living a life that wasn't mine. I dropped the phone. It hit the floor, screen still glowing. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. I had to remind myself to stand, to move, to be alive. It felt like my world had cracked open. 27 years of love, gone in a moment of truth. But what broke me wasn't just the betrayal, it was who she was. In one photo, the woman's face was turned slightly but familiar. The kind of familiarity that makes your stomach twist. Then it hit me. She wasn't a stranger. She was our daughter's godmother, Lydia. In one photo, the woman's face was turned slightly but familiar. The kind of familiarity that makes your stomach twist. Then it hit me. She wasn't a stranger. She was our daughter's godmother, Lydia. My closest friend. The woman I had trusted with every secret of my life. I couldn't cry. Not yet. I stared at the phone again, scrolling through their messages. He called her my peace. My real home. He wrote things he hadn't said to me in years. I read everything until I couldn't see through my tears. When Daniel came home that evening, I couldn't look at him the same way. I cooked dinner. We ate in silence. Every smile he gave felt like an insult, every word a lie. That night, while he slept, I lay awake, watching the man who had shared my life. The man I no longer recognized. For 3 days I kept silent. I wanted to see if guilt would reveal itself. It didn't. He went about his days as if nothing had changed. So I decided to change everything. I planned it carefully. On the 4th day, I called Lydia. My voice didn't tremble. I told her I needed her help to surprise Daniel for his upcoming birthday. She laughed, unaware of what was coming. We agreed to meet at a cafe that Saturday. When the day came, I dressed in calm colors. Soft blue. Peaceful. I didn't want to look like a storm, even though I was one inside. Lydia arrived, radiant as always, with that same smile that once comforted me. We ordered tea. Then I placed Daniel's secret phone on the table. Her face froze. She tried to speak, but I raised my hand. I trusted you, I said. You prayed with me, cried with me, stood beside me. And all the while, you were holding my husband's hand behind my back. Tears welled in her eyes, but I didn't let her speak. I didn't want apologies. I wanted truth. I asked her how long. She whispered, 5 years. 5 years. 5 years of stolen moments, lies and laughter that should have been mine. I left her there, with her trembling hands and empty words. When I got home, Daniel was waiting. He'd found the phone missing. His face turned pale the moment he saw it in my hand. Grace, he said softly. Please let me explain. But explanations mean nothing when love has died. I told him to pack his things. He begged, cried, knelt on the floor. But I didn't move. For the first time in years, I wasn't the weak one. I watched him leave, suitcase in hand, his eyes filled with regret. Maybe he thought I'd forgive him. Maybe he thought time would heal us again. But time doesn't fix betrayal. It only teaches you how to live with the scars. Weeks passed. The house felt empty, but peaceful. I started to find myself again. The woman I'd lost somewhere between his lies and my silence. Then one evening, as the sun dipped low, my daughter came to visit. She hugged me tight, unaware of the war I'd fought alone. When she asked where her father was, I told her he was on a long trip. Because how do you tell your child that love sometimes rots from the inside? That the people who promise to protect your heart can be the ones who break it? Months later, I found another message on the same phone. It was from Lydia. It read, "He's gone. He said he's moving away. I don't know what to do without him." I deleted the message, turned off the phone and locked it away. I realized something that day, that forgiveness isn't always for them. Sometimes it's for you, so you can finally breathe again. Today, when I walk past the mirror, I see someone new. Someone stronger. Someone who survived. My husband's secret phone revealed more than betrayal. It revealed the truth about me. That I was enough all along. And that sometimes, the worst thing that happens to you becomes the best reason to start again.